We are 1 month away from TI and it looks like we're about to get a new patch. In this video I will talk about 5 things that are very likely to change, from hero nerfs to item buffs, mobility meta shifts, and why we might finally see the return of Teamfight Dota. 1. Mobility changes. In the latest esports World Cup tournament we had a pretty clear mid meta. 5 of the most picked heroes were Pac, Ember Spirit, Storm Spirit, Queen of Pain, and Monkey King, in that exact order. After that we had Shadow Fiend, Void Spirit, Leshrac and Beastmaster. Do you see what connects all of the heroes I just mentioned? First 5 ones have a built-in mobility spell, and 6 if we include Void Spirit, and 3 others have Blink Dagger as their core item, if played from the mid lane. That means mobility is one of the most important things when it comes to the mid lane meta. It's not only just the mid lane, a lot of meta heroes like Dawnbreaker, Furion or even Batrider are considered very mobile heroes. While I think there's nothing wrong with that kind of meta, what I'd like to see is some mobility item changes. I think drums and force staff are a bit too weak right now, and while I wouldn't say they are straight up bad, I think a small buff to them would open up the hero choices a lot. Windlace nerf was crashing, it's not really efficient to buy that item as well. This makes all of the mobility based heroes stronger, and while nerfing them is an angle, I don't think that's what we should be aiming for, unless we're talking about small number nerfs which heroes like Pac or Queen of Pain need anyways. We could also see Blink Dagger cost reduced. While the item is in a good place, small buff would make this even more meta, thus making the game for Blink Initiator heroes way easier. Sometimes, all it takes is just 100 gold, and that can completely shift the meta into Blink heroes. 2. Item changes. Valve in the recent patches have nerfed BKB, Shroud, Manta, and even Glimmer. Now it seems like Blade Mail is next in the line. Why is that? After the nerfs, it feels like getting BKB stopped being a must-buy, and heroes that deal well in the meta, in the core roles, are the ones that can possibly skip BKB. We're talking SF, Furion, but also Ursa and Lifestealer. Sure, I'm not saying you won't ever buy BKB on them, but compared to heroes like Phantom Assassin or Marcy, your heroes are way more forgiving when it comes to this. That's why Blade Mail feels so strong, because the other defensive items are so underwhelming. I do think there will be another defensive item that cores will get, perhaps even the BKB, if it gets changed or the meta shifts, but looks like that Valve is trying to make the game way less obvious when it comes to item choices. I would say we're in a good place right now in terms of that, but you know, the game has to constantly change not to get boring, and we will see new items that become meta. I'm fully expecting Lotus Orb to become one of them, even if it doesn't get changed, as the item feels so strong right now. But I'm quite sure there will be changes to get old ones into the meta, or even the 1 or 2 new items that you can buy. We're about a month away from TI, and I'm not expecting the next patch to become a huge one in terms of gameplay changes, however, that could be very interesting. And as for the neutral items, we're about to see some recycling as well. I think Chipped Vest and Sister's Shroud are getting removed due to the meta reasons, and some of the old ones will make a comeback. 3. Big hero nerfs. In terms of heroes, I think it's about time we see a small shift in meta. Some of them are just broken due to the fact what they offer. A good example would be Nature's Prophet, as he's broken conceptually as well as number-wise. Or Shaman, that is not only having 3 stuns with one of his facets, one of the highest base damage out of the range heroes, but also annoying in late, and while it's not broken in most cases, I'm expecting this to be removed. Why? Well, Valve has removed a lot of annoying shit from the game. You know, Green Techies Mines, Permahex Tinker, basically the things that are just annoying are getting changed or removed. And I love it. I feel like having things that you can't do much about a lot of the time is simply the wrong direction, as in the end Dota is just a game and is meant to be enjoyed by everyone. I know that all of you had the moment where you simply wanted to quit the game after Techies exploded you from opposite side of the map or Tinker just perma-hexed you to death. Yeah, I think that's the main reason why Shaman might be getting a rework. And Furion, well, his concept is basically broken in current state of the game. He's a ranged hero that is universal, has two ways to buff himself in terms of damage, both his innate and summoning treants, and while the map is really big, he's one of the heroes that can farm it well. A lot of the changes to him that were meant to offset the nerfs, having a barrier, better heal on shooting saplings, Newcon sprout instead of damage over time, turned out to be a reason he's so strong right now. I'm expecting something big, that can basically remove him from meta for some time, as he's been there for a quite long time and Valve needs to refresh the game every now and then, not to make it boring. Perhaps attack range nerf would be a cool angle along with small number nerfs. For Dawnbreaker, I think the only issue she has that her Aghanim's is so strong. I don't think there's anything wrong about the hero and she's in meta for a short period of time. I think all we're getting is Aghanim's nerf. A lot of the heroes that are strong right now will suffer a lot from Blade Mail nerf. I think Axe is a perfect example. In position 3, he gets a lot out of the Blade Mail and as 4 from Vessel. I think he might even stay unchanged, but due to the fact that his core item will get nerfed, and he will still get it as he's the best Blade Mail carrier in the game, it will be way more difficult to play him. I don't think a lot of position 5s and position 4s need many changes though. Other than Shaman, Dazzle and Undying, I feel like the rest of the pool is in a decent position. There are stronger and weaker heroes, yes, but a lot of this is depending on what cores are in the meta. I can see how Bane becomes one of the meta heroes soon, as he's already seen a lot, and if BKB heroes come into play again, his stock will rise. 4. Facet Reworks. I want to create a different video about that, but since introduction of the facets, I loved them. I feel like the most of the good ones are basically a way to improve your hero and tone down the weakness that your hero has. Naga is a perfect example. She got a slight rework and now she basically got 2 facets, and with Deluge she basically becomes a support. Before she was able to be one as well, but one of her spells was borderline useless. It was very hard to use. Now she basically picks one for the role she's got. Leshrac has 2 big problems. His damage takes a lot of time to build in, and then he faces several mana issues as he's got a lot of mana costs. And guess what? He's got 2 phases that fix the problems. One reduces the time that you need to have your W running, although it doesn't hit buildings then, and then the second one gives him mana back for every hit. Perfect design. On the other hand, my boy Witch Doctor has 2 badly designed facets. He's got many problems, and the biggest one is the fact that he's unable to farm. The other would be that it's quite easy to get the word cancelled. Imagine this. With small nerfs, you get a facet that makes your ward half the duration, but it's not channeling anymore. And the other would make you able to get, let's say, 25% of gold for every kill and assist into your Gree. I'm just throwing random ideas out there, but you get my point. Instead of that, you get even more damage from Maledict, one of the highest damage spells in the game, and the other is even more damage from your ward. It's pointless. I think we're getting there though. Most of the facet changes were good. I think we will end up with every hero having 2 perfectly balanced ones, excluding the heroes like DK where it's likely we'll still have 3, that you need to pick up depending on what problem you want to fix with your hero. That adds an extra dimension to every hero while not being completely overwhelming. In a way, this will be a simple choice, but a very strategical one. 5. Return of Teamfight heroes. When you think about it, most of the TI patches have been played in metas where Teamfight heroes were strong, and there is a reason for that. You still remember 6 million Echo Slam or Seb's Axe Call on enemies, Patience from Zoe, Big Chronos, Black Holes, you name it. I think we're about to get back into teamfight meta again, and there's a few reasons I can think of. First, the TI needs a good exposure. It's safe to say that the game has stagnated a bit in terms of player base, and the most enchanting moments in pro scenes are usually connected to big plays. You know, it's hard to advertise the game. Big moments in clips could be a reason why a lot of the players that used to play this game will get emotional while seeing clips from TI. Second, a lot of the heroes in that mode are currently out of meta, but I feel like they need a small changes, not a big rework. Shaker, Enigma and Faceless Void are going a bit under the radar right now, and heroes like Tide or Warlock are strong. I think changes to heroes like Furion or SF might actually reduce tempo of the games, and that's where the big ultimate heroes come back into play. This could be just me having hopes for things that don't happen, but I think with the current style of play, where heroes are likely to group up anyways, with few changes we might see a meta where big teamfights with shiny spells will happen a lot. This is obviously a double-edged sword, as the games could become bit too one-sided, so it's up to Valve how they wanna go about that. That's it for today. For more educational content, subscribe to the channel and see other videos to find out how to support like a pro. See you!